emotional, guys. I love every single one of you. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. As we forgive those who trespass against us, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Then they're going to go into the Lord's Prayer. I want to hear the Lord's Prayer. Look at that. They're arm in arm.
Good job. Proud of you. It's amazing.
That's what's so powerful about it.
Keep sharing, you guys. Please, please keep sharing. This is a peaceful stand. I'll be your friend. I'll help you.
Okay.
There we go. Hey, everybody. It's Everett with Ohio for Freedom, and we're pretty pumped up tonight. I have a special guest, Carl from Black Sheep Media is in the house.
Truth Media.
Oh, sorry, man. Why am I saying Truth Media? Black Sheep Truth Media.
Truth Media. You got it, buddy.
I got it, man. And I'm really happy and excited to have my brother Jeff with me. And folks, all we can do is tonight. My goal is to try to add some encouragement, try to share some truth. Nobody's in control of what's going on. Nobody's at the forefront. Everybody's playing their part. I'm playing my part to the best of my ability. Carl's playing his part. Jeff's playing his, and you're playing your part. But we're really, really excited to have Carl with us. Carl has been there in Ottawa from the very beginning. He's all over this thing. And I just want to make a couple of announcements. Next week, we are launching our Rumble Live presentations. And I want to ask this audience to weigh in the comments or whatever platform you're on. We've been broadcasting at 9 o'clock Eastern, Tuesday and Thursday night. We're considering using the 7 o'clock spot. But if you would just weigh in and let us know what you think, that would be appreciated. But on Rumble Live, we can get comments, we can interact, and we never, ever, ever, ever get censored. And by the way, speaking of censored, Carl, do you know anything about being censored?
Oh, I'm censored just a little bit. They do not like what I got out there because I'm putting too much power into the folks' hands, and they don't like that. And right now, the folks have the power here. We are governing the country right now, my friends. I wouldn't even know where to start. But I've been a journalist for a long time. I decided to be a journalist because I realized that we were not getting informed anywhere. And on top of it, we did have a huge problem here that I can explain on another show, which is called the control of the province of Quebec, the 9 million people. Because I'm from Quebec, and then I moved to Alberta. So I understand everything, and which is what's controlling the entire country. The fortress right now is not Ottawa. It's actually in Quebec. That's where all the main corruption, that's where the country began. And the phony war against the English that they've created in order to program us into being a separatist has allowed them to completely control the entire province of Quebec. And now it's over. This is the biggest slap the system has ever had because all provinces have united. And I mean, you'd have to be on the hills. That's why I'm trying to show everyone what's going on. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Nobody has. Carl, let
And
me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you just for a moment because you're like a fire hydrant. You got so much information, and I want to get there. Can we start? Can we start at this protest and just you've been there from the very beginning, right? There in Ottawa.
yes,
And can you just tell us what the mood? What is the mood? How are the Patriots? What's the mood on the street of the Freedom Convoy? What's their?
all right. You've never seen anything like this, like in my entire life. This is not a protest. It's not even close to be a protest. This is the unifications of all provinces and all brothers and sisters. We had 2.5 millions there the first weekend, somewhere around 3 millions the next weekend, and everybody who cross everyone, everywhere, of every race and every colors are saying, I love you, je t'aime, all day long, and people are hugging everywhere. Right now,
That's a pretty
there
big
is,
fringe. That's a pretty big fringe, isn't it?
yeah, man, this is like you never seen anything like it, and the stuff is going out there. The virus is the system, and the antidote is the love. And right now, it's unstoppable,
That's awesome.
unstoppable. It is moving across the world, and I mean, I can't believe I'm seeing this. I've been an activist for many, many years, and
Yeah.
you know, I assumed that someday we were gonna really unite, but this is beyond. I don't think this has ever happened in the history of our planet, not that I know of, and this is just the beginning.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know,
This
I've been following you, Carl, since unless we don't have time to talk about that. But back in the summer, you were commenting on some really weird stuff that was happening in the sky. But what I wanted to say is, so I've been following you for a while, and one thing that I've noticed is, you used to have so many views on your Facebook, and like they're squeezing you down to almost nothing, but that hasn't stopped you, has it?
Absolutely not, because even if I go from hundred and some thousand to 4,000, as long as I get this stuff out, and I'm on the field and I'm helping people, I'm helping promote business. I help open restaurants during full lockdowns. I take tons of tickets online. I tell them just bring on the tickets. I show people not to be scared, and I promote the number one thing for the last 3 years is quit looking for leadership and be a leader yourself. I tell people, I'm not your leader. I'm the leader of me. I'm here to empower you so you can be a leader of you, so you can create another leader. White knights, you're the
Right.
white knights. And right
Yeah.
now, we're finally seeing this, and everybody is being a leader. We have like hundreds of thousands of leaders right now everywhere. Everybody's working. Everybody's feeding everybody. They're picking up garbage, cleaning statues. They're doing everything. And the city is not there. They close up all the restaurants. They made sure there was no bathrooms. And but you know what? We are managing incredibly well. And we're doing it across the country. So everything that the government's throwing at us right now, we have a solution. The problem, reaction, solution, we run it now.
Right, right. We are the Hegelian
You,
direct. Yeah, yeah. And Jeff, if you have a question, you feel free to chip in. I want to ask this, if we, and I don't want to get in the weeds, but for those of you that haven't met Carl before, he speaks fluent French, and a lot of the time, you'll say something, you speak just as much French as English. And my question is, do do the powers that shouldn't be, do they use the French English thing, do they somehow are it seems like somehow they use that against the Canadian people.
exactly. And the language is a real problem. And I knew this for a long time. And like I was explaining to you about the French and English. So 3 years ago, I started doing my media, and I'm the only journalist in Canada, maybe even in the States, who actually live feeds and translate as I go right away in
Oh
English and
yeah.
French. Yeah, man. And
I mean,
I've
it's
got this
awesome.
down. I got this down to an art, and people are loving it because they can understand everything, and it brings people together. And that's what I'm all about: is to bring people together and get them off the fear and empower them. The other day. I stood on a hill for 4 hours when thousands of people were walking, and I pointed at every one of them for 4 hours, and I told them, "You're the power. You're the power. You're the law of the land." And
Yeah.
people need to be reminded that they are, and it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I love people.
There's another saying I've heard you say several times in the last couple of days. I might not say it perfect, but it's the way I would say it is don't give the problem your energy, or something similar to that. Because in your mind, I think in your mind, we've already won this thing.
We have. This is all about energy. Wherever you put your energy is where the power goes. So if you keep watching the clown show, I mean, you're empowering it. Okay? That's an automatic. If you keep
Yeah.
watching the media, you're empowering it. As soon as you quit giving it attention, it fades away. Example, if I had 100 million people watching my YouTube channel, I would be a powerful man. But as soon as you don't give me any more attention, I am nothing. And that's how she works. So you need to really look at where you're putting your energy. And this system, this evil system, is about taking your energy and to bring dark energy, right? So the media, for example, is probably one of the biggest one. And all you need to do to get rid of it is quit listening to it, because the media is not an information network. It is a propaganda programming machine and justification of lies. And this is the reason why I'm telling you folks who are listening tonight, I'm taking the word media or the black sheep truth media, because I'm not a propaganda machine, and the word media is dark energy. So I highly recommend that everybody gets that name off their books.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because that's what the media is. You know, it's all about the wording, as we all know, right?
They're in Canada, and I'm not sure that Americans necessarily realize this, but as far as professional media, not independent media, as far as professional media, other than maybe Rebel News, who I greatly admire, but all of the other media is directly paid for by the Trudeau regime. I mean, is that accurate, or am I overstating that?
You're definitely accurate. They gave him an extra 600 millions last year, because I mean, people need to understand. Like, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a secret that I've been talking about for 3 years. That shouldn't even be a secret, but people are going to do protests in front of empty buildings in the last 3 years, where where the entire country every weekend or every week should have been protesting in front of mainstream medias, because that's who got us where we are. That's why you're wearing stuff in your face, and that's why you're thinking the way you think. This is the main computer, and without the mainstream media, the government will not be able to do this to you. They are an extremely powerful weapon, and we're gonna take it down. They're already fading away. They're already starting to tell the truth, but we're not gonna forgive them. We have journalists everywhere, people with cell phones that bring information. And I highly recommend to everyone out there to start your own little information system. The more the merrier, in every town, every city's podcast, and just let it roll, guys. You guys are the real information, you know?
Yeah. Carl, here's what I'd like to do. Now, this will take a minute or so. I'd like to kick over a sacred cow, or just really bust a fear. And then I'm going to play this clip, and it'll take a little bit, but then I want to talk about it. But this is Klaus Schwab introducing Justin Trudeau, and I'm just going to let that play.
Yeah.
Let's play it and talk about it.
You bet.
Come out of this fourth industrial revolution. It will be a young world. It will be a digital world. Now, who could represent such a world better than you, Prime Minister? We are very glad that at the beginning of this meeting, you are talking to us to represent also a new, open Canada. I want to use this opportunity also to thank our Canadian constituency, which always has been a very loyal and very much engaged constituency here at the forum. But now, I think with you, together with our constituents, Prime Minister, we can make sure that in the future, we strengthen the cooperation even more with your country. Prime Minister, we are looking forward to listen to you.
Okay, so that was Klaus Schwab introducing Justin. We're gonna let Mr. Falsto. We're gonna let Mr. Falsto speak, and then we'll talk about it.
Thank you, Professor Schwab, for your warm welcome.
Please.
And for bringing this impressive group together. Today, we are gathered here to contemplate whether we are in the stages of the fourth industrial revolution about to begin.
Two missteps.
Current prompter reading.
That is,
Yeah.
the one thing certain about the next industrial revolution is, like the three that preceded it, it will bring enormous change. If you are looking for a country that has the diversity, the resilience, the positivity, and mostly the confidence that will not just manage this change, but take advantage of it, there has never been a better time to look to Canada.
Jeff, what do you think he meant by take advantage of it?
Never let a good crisis go to waste. That's what he meant. We'll take advantage of it. You know, Klaus Schwab said an open Canada. I think an open Canada is what we're seeing now, but it's certainly not digital. It's genuine. The people are united for truth, in love, but staying strong.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yep. What do you think, Carl? I mean, let me set it up this way. No, you go ahead. You know what you think. You don't need me to set anything up. Go.
Oh yeah, like first of all, Schwab is insane. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. This will never happen. And Justin Trudeau, I mean, everything is scripted across the planet. All their speeches, it is the only one he cannot read the script properly. Like the guy is like probably one of the biggest clown there is on this planet. Like everybody's laughing at him. And I mean, I don't even know how this guy can still present himself. Like the guy and that's what I've been telling the people. They were all wondering about what he was going to say at the press conference. I said, I don't want to hear it. I says, when you actually waiting for his answer, you're acknowledging that he has power. When he has
You're giving him power. You're giving him your power, aren't you? Yeah.
When you watch a clown show, you empower it. Yes.
You know something that I noticed. Okay, before he went into hiding, he talked about this fringe group with unacceptable beliefs or views. I think he said unacceptable views. Now it's a lot bigger, but I wasn't even going to take the time to record it. But yesterday in your parliament, which no offense, ours is a joke, but that's kind of a joke where you have that auctioneer guy say, and the great prime minister. And it's like, why don't these people just talk? But anyway, here's what Justin Trudeau said over and over and over again. When somebody would stand up and say, why don't you end the mandates or tell us when, he would whine and say, if the Conservative Party would just tell him to shut down. My point, Carl, is that he's trying to frame this as though it's a liberal and a conservative. I don't think he realizes that the people that are part of this convoy, they don't care a rat's rear end about liberal or conservative. They're not looking at it through that paradigm. Does that make sense?
It's just about being united in freedom.
Yeah.
He knows exactly who he's working for. He's working for WEF. And I mean, like right now, the government is basically a distraction because people think the government has power when it has none. They're only like the puppets of the bankers and the elites. Right now, Vanguard, BlackRock, and Power Corp, and it's pretty well running the show. They own the political system, which is the biggest fraud that's ever been in a country. It doesn't matter who you vote for. You're going to eat the same soup under a different label. And everybody will, they're following the depopulation agenda. So the only way that you can basically survive, my friends, is take down all these governments that are controlled by crown corporations and expose the truth. Like Canada is Canadian Crown Corporation. So what we have here, we have CEOs of corporations posing as governments. You get programmed into this thing since the day you were born. And the truth is getting out there. Every country has the same problem. It's a worldwide corporate slavery system like a masterpiece that they've created. And all these guys are clowns, and everything's a show. I should show you some of these shows. And they're all making money. Like the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, is 100% owner of a sticker company that's called Deco Chicago. And these stickers are in every business in Ontario. They're mask stickers with the arrows and everything that has everything with COVID. He just made himself 70 million this year. They're all into this business. Every minister of health, I investigated every one of them in each province. They don't have more than a business administration as far as credential, and they all have, in their past employment, they all have associations with Vanguard, BlackRock, Bill Gates organization, and they all got shares into Vanguards and everything. They're basically just corporation, de facto system, yeah. And the word's getting out, man.
Can I react to that for a second? And I don't want to lose people in
Yes.
the weeds here, but you were just talking about Doug Ford, how it's like he's benefiting from the crisis, like he's playing two ends. Can I tell you something that I learned today? I learned it from Dr. Robert Malone, and he was doing an interview with Tucker Carlson. But so here in the States, you had Joe Rogan interview Dr. Malone, and they decided they don't like Joe Rogan. And get this, Neil Young, all of a sudden, who nobody's thought about Neil Young forever, never, never, says hey, Spotify, either take Joe Rogan off or take me off. Well, guess what? It comes out that Neil Young, a while back, sold his music portfolio to, drumroll please, BlackRock. And get this, and I just heard Dr. Malone say this, so I need to follow this through. But one of the biggest owners of Moderna, y'all know who Moderna is, the Hallelujah to the V company. That one of the biggest owners of Moderna is also one of the biggest owners of Spotify. So I don't want to lose y'all and all that, but what I'm saying is,
oh yeah, I got you. I'm following you.
and there's when I read Bobby Kennedy's book, forgive me y'all, but when I read Bobby Kennedy's book, he identified this German commentator who did an excellent job of showing that right before there was the housing market bubble of 2008, like trillions of dollars came from the Fed into our economy. And it all went to Wall Street banks. The same day that Event 201 was held, guess what happened? The very same thing. They pumped mega amounts of money into our economy the same day that Event 201 that was, forecasting all this stuff, folks. But here's the thing, Carl. Let me ask you this. I heard you say that these guys are all controlled by WEF, the World Economic Forum. How much of the Canadian population do you think it understands that or knows that?
They're starting to get aware. I've been talking about this stuff for years. As far as because I've been very educated as far as the UN agenda for years, and as far as sustainable development, resilient cities, and Agenda 2030. And I've talked to patriot groups for many years, but I couldn't get it through. All they would talk about, because we've been so programmed into the politics, everybody would talk about Trudeau in the next election. And it's only in the last year when they finally realized that they got nowhere to run, that they're starting opening their minds and starting to listen to things. And it's amazing right now because their minds are opening everywhere. So I explain things to people now and they get it right away. It's incredible. Incredible.
I think you're saying something real important. And Jeff, you chime in whenever you like. But okay, what I'm doing right now.
Come on in, Jeff.
Yeah. What I'm doing right now, I wasn't doing this 2 years ago. We started this, I think, about May. And I don't even know when it just kind of happened because I had to say something. And so a lot of us have been digging in, learning information, digging out the truth, discovering the truth. But here's the thing. I think it's easy for some of us that have been, toeing the line for a couple of years to think that everybody on the planet has already made up their mind. But I don't think that's accurate. I think there's a whole lot of people that haven't woken up yet that are starting to wake up. Do you agree with me with that, or do you think I'm wrong?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you what I've been telling the people for the last couple of years, because everybody always comes to you very frustrated and tells you that everybody in their city, are not awake, you're not awake, you're not awake. And I hear that all the time. And I tell these people, I says, listen, man, there's way more people awake than you think. But if you're trying to convince them, you're not going to get anywhere. If you want to convince them, you got to get out there and you have to lead by example and create positive actions. And they'll come out of the bush because they're waiting for action. So it is for you to do it. And I was right, like 1,000% the whole time. And I turn people into leaders and I put them to work. I'm going to give you an example. When I did my first serving, when I served Nuremberg Code, vaccination centers, CBC headquarters news, I got 250,000 views on my video. And when I got home at night, I had over 1,000 emails from all over the world. People wanted the documents and they wanted to serve. And every time I did this, so I put people to work and I showed them how to do it. And I'm only one person, and that's what leading by example is. The people who accomplish the biggest results that are worth more than 50, 60 rallies are individuals who led by example. So imagine when everyone is leading by example, which is what's happening in Canada right now. It is, I can't believe it, man. You should fly down here, buddy.
Yeah.
We have
my PayPal.
We have to have another telephone conversation. I got probably a couple hours of stuff I'm going to tell you. I'm going to fill you in on some incredible stuff, lots of information, and that's going to be really good for you. Yes.
Good deal. Hey, I was trying to bring in my buddy Robert from Saskatchewan. Robert, are you there? Can you hear me or no?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, listen, I know that you're driving now, Carl, this is Robert, my friend from Saskatchewan. He just left a meeting, I think, with Tony Wells. Is that right, Robert?
Yeah, that's correct.
Hey, hi to say hi to Tony from Black Sheep. Where are you from, Saskatchewan?
Well, I'm from Gray, Saskatchewan.
Nice. I just came out of Lloydminster, Saskatchewan. That's where I'm from, brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is close to Milestone, South Regina. And I'm at a meeting close to Ridgeway border in Bengoff.
Very nice, very nice.
Well, Robert, we got you because you're driving. You might jump off the map here. What did you just come from? And just give us an update. Where did you come from, and what's the mood like?
Good. There was a small meeting with a group from Bengoff, Coronach, the Assiniboia area, I guess. It's a fairly big area. They're spread out. There's some people from Weyburn area.
And was it a good meeting? Are people excited, or are they afraid it's all going to fall apart?
Oh no, they know that nobody's stopped until it's done. Basically, this was Action for Canada introduction for Tony and the notice of liabilities.
Yeah, explain to us real quick what this notice of liability is, if you would.
So basically, it's a package that Action for Canada's made up with a bunch of information for anybody that's served. Basically, it's an information package that can be turned into a legal document, and you know if they keep basically it's a cease and desist.
Okay.
Non-legal. Binding unless we make it that way. If they continue to do what they're doing, then you can actually take them to court and make a criminal court. You take the individual to court, not the company, not the school board, or whoever you're serving, your employer or whatever. Then you can take them to court yourself, charge them criminally, and skip the police process. Or
are people actually
skip every process, go straight to court. In criminal court to boot. No liability for anybody. All the liability insurance in the world won't cover you in the criminal law.
Wow, that's powerful. Carl, have you had any experience with that?
Of course, that's what I've That's what I just served the Prime
Oh, I
Minister
think
of
I lost you.
Canada. Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still there, Carl. Robert, I still hear
All
you
right.
too.
Okay, those are the documents I've been serving all across the country, including the Prime Minister's office 5 days ago with the Nuremberg Code and cease or desist orders. I've been serving documents all over the country, and this was my last serving. And yeah, my name is Simon the Bottom, so they are liable for a lawsuit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
Robert, we hear you. Do you hear me, buddy? Okay, I'm gonna say, I'll catch up with you, Robert. We're go. Well, thanks for checking in. Okay, Carl, here's what we do. I don't have you all night. If you can hang in, I just want to read this comment here. And you've been really generous with your time. I appreciate it. This is Elizabeth. She checks in with us pretty regular. I have a bunch of friends heading to Ottawa this Saturday. Nobody is stopping. Woo-hoo, freedom rings. Okay, Carl, let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Is this weekend going to be bigger than last weekend?
Well, we'll get a couple mil for sure. And I'm going to, because people have been holding ground. And I got a lot of inside information, I got to tell you, on how to try to stop this. Because as you understand, the entire world has got their eyes, on Ottawa right now. So what they've been trying to do, because of course, as you all know, we have the international army sitting in the background, in which they used on us 2 years ago. And I can tell you a lot of info about that. So right now they're trying to use this to clean it up, but they cannot do it because there's too much internet there. So they're looking at shutting down cell towers just right away. And it's hard to get live feeds out of Ottawa. This way they can do their dirty deeds without the world seeing it, right? But we got all kinds of solutions to this. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to be successful. Carl, do you have about 2 more minutes? Can you hang around 2 more minutes?
Oh, yeah,
Carl,
anytime.
Okay, well, hang on. I just want to, this might seem like we're switching gears here, but I'm going to play something that Hank Kunneman, this is a prophecy that he gave 5 years ago about your country. And then I just want to play it, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit if I can.
Because,
Let me bring that up there.
happening again, we saw it at the beginning of the program here, which
Might be a little quiet.
Ready, guys, I appreciate it. Was the November 9th, where here we were on Flashpoint of 2021, and God says, I see a convoy coming, and he begins to talk about this. But look at 2017.
2017.
February. And God begins to prophesy, and he says, so this is what I say to you, Canada. I will reform you. Stop right there. Keep the graphic up. Reform means God takes his hand, and sometimes he pulls the piece of clay out and takes parts out, and other times he doesn't. He smacks it. If you ever made a reform something on a potter's wheel, you smack it, you hit it, you reshape it, it looks like you're destroying it. Okay, Canada, I shall reform you. I shall cause a fire to begin to burn among the youth and even among the old who remember, O Canada of old, and they shall arise, and there shall be, watch this, a movement that shall sweep. Now watch this. From British Columbia, do you know where the convoy started, Steve? British Columbia.
Wow.
So there's a movement that's going to start in British Columbia. That's where they gathered. Notice where he's telling you you're going to end up. To Quebec. Ottawa is right on the Quebec border, right there. And they're literally saying we're taking this movement from British Columbia, even though it's Ottawa, the capital, we're taking it from British Columbia to Quebec. Now, this is what's amazing.
And I just wanted people to remember, this is 2017.
Yeah.
You're reading, this is 2017. That's like, what, 5 years ago?
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. So that is Hank Kunneman 5 years ago giving a prophetic word about a movement in Canada that starts in BC and goes clear west. And Carl, what do you think? Is that what we're seeing right now?
Okay, I'm going to explain to you something that people are not talking about. 3 years ago, there was a convoy called United We Roll. Have you ever heard about it?
No.
It was a monster convoy from the Alberta people after we got all our oil taken away. And they drove to Ottawa. And this convoy was led by Glenn Carrot. It was incredibly huge in Canada. I was part of it. I created some of the posters. I was in it. And people seem to have forgotten that this is what started all the convoys. So if Glenn Carrot kicks around and see the show, I want to give you all my respect because he is part of history. He started all these convoys in Canada. And then it got full. People tried to do all kinds of convoys after that. So if I were to give credits for convoys in this country, in history, I would give it to Glenn Carrot. And because he created United We Roll. And this is what got all these convoys started. Glenn Carrot,
Yeah.
all my
I'd like to
respect.
project something here.
Go ahead.
I think it's important that we give credit to the hand of the Lord moving through the hearts of the people in Canada. Upon them and through them and in them, it's making such a difference.
Well, without the people, this would not happen. That's why I tell everybody every day that you're a part of this because of you, because you answered the call. Otherwise, that would have been a truck convoy. This was the truckers got the spark and your people fueled the fire. And right now, this fire is not going anywhere. It's spreading across the country and across the world.
It is across the world. Amen to that.
Yes.
I could have brought a clip from this starting to happen in Australia. It's starting to happen all over. And Carl, me playing that clip is not to give credit or not, because I'm not familiar with the gentleman. That's not where what I'm trying to say is like the people. And I'm not going to read it. Somebody sent me a letter that was like, "Oh, the WEF, they won't give up without a fight. They won't give." Folks, it's beyond that. I agree with Carl. We've won this. You've won this.
It's already done.
It's already done.
It is a course that must be stayed, though. We must stay this course. Not give the governments of the world, actionable incidents. There's been no violence in this convoy or anything like that. And it has to stay that way, legal and loving and insisting.
That no violence, the only violence you've seen is from the police officer. And since with the convoy was there, the crime rate went down 95%. And everybody says it's never been the city so safe. The people have been cleaning everything, looking after everything. The city's never showed up, and people are doing a wonderful job. They've been shining statues. I mean, never seen Ottawa so clean. We help the economy. I mean, I could tell you so many stories. We're gonna have to have some conversation. And then as far as Australia, I gotta tell you something about Australia. 7 years ago, I started watching Australia, Germany, and the UK, and I started learning the game from there, and it allowed me to make predictions right on the money on everything because all this stuff is hidden, and I don't have any special gift. I just pay attention, and I was addicted to the information. I talk to Australia every day. I know everything that's going on there, and last weekend I told them, I'm going to be raising your flag in front of 500,000 people because I'm sending you some love and energy. And I did it live for these guys because I freaking love them. These guys were the first victim of the agenda. It was a no-brainer. That's why they took their guns away. And this was all done by design. We got to talk about some of that stuff.
We'll do that
on the outside of the show.
Yep. We're going to wrap up here. I want to give you the last word. And here's what I'm going to say, or ask rather. I hear little rumblings that some people are afraid that they're going to try to ratchet the troops up or use these riot police or whatever. What would you say to people that have that fear and have that concern?
This is a game of fear. And I have to tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, that have been asking me for years, where's the army to come and help us? Well, you are the army. We have the extreme biggest army in the world. All we're doing right now, we're connecting all the brothers and sisters, and there's no army bigger than yours. I'm starting to fear for all these big families that are running this show and all these big corporations because it looks like the planet's coming after you. All right. So, yeah, man. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Everybody talked about the end of time, but nobody ever talked about the new beginning. It's the end of time of the demons. That's right. The light is out and it's lighting up everywhere. Even some of the most programmed are waking up everywhere. It's crazy, man. I got to give you some update every day, every hour. This cannot be stopped. The
I
devil
love
is
it.
working overtime. The devil is working overtime and just cannot get anything done anymore. Everything that the government throws at us here in this country, we have a solution for every time. I got to tell you some stories that's going to make you laugh. It's amazing.
We
Now
need-
people realize that they are the power and the law of the land.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I want to get this posted. So we're gonna sign off here. Jeff, you got a last word for us, or?
Yeah, as America follows the shining example of our brothers in Canada, let freedom ring.
Amen. Amen. People are watching. Carl, I
Badass.
really appreciate it, man. I'm so glad I was able to catch up with you. And anything we can do to
I love
help you.
guys.
How do people find you? How do people find you?
Well, they can find me right now on the Facebook page, Black Sheep Truth Media, and I have other platform. I haven't had time to finish stuff off. I've been too busy. I'm finally got a tech come in. I got hundreds of videos that I would like to even give you. That's gonna blow your mind because I have tons of stuff. You know,
We'll work on.
I'm not here. Yeah.
We'll work on some projects
all this
together.
stuff. But for
Awesome.
now, I just want to send some love to all my brothers and sisters in the U.S. and all over the world. And I want to tell you that when you're not scared, they are scared. It's a game of fear. Never be scared, because now you're no longer alone. Your brothers and sisters are hooking up. And these days, be the change. Be a leader. Get out there. Help someone. Do whatever you can do. You are all creators. You are here to create. So let's recreate the new normal that you want.
Amen. Yeah.
Have a good night. And
All right.
anytime, man.
All right.
Thank
God
you
bless
for what
you.
you're doing.
God bless your
Pleasure
family.
to meet you, Carl.
God bless the state of Ohio. And
God-
God bless our brother and sister in Canada and the United States. All right. Good night,
love you
everybody.
guys.
Thanks.
God
Thanks.
Thank you.
I hear the
Thank you.
sweet sound of freedom.